A state prison corrections officer has been arrested as she's been accused of having a relationship with an inmate. The South Carolina Department of Corrections says 20-year-old Keffer Gibson of Manning has been charged with criminal sexual conduct with an inmate, possession of marijuana with the intent to distribute, and criminal conspiracy. The charges allege that Gibson had a sexual relationship with an inmate at Turbyville Correctional when she worked there back in 2023. The affidavit went on to say that text messages showed at one point Gibson believed she was pregnant with the inmate's baby. Gibson then moved to work at Kirkland Correctional but was fired from there after her arrest.
Tonight,
Keffer Wren Gibson, 20 years old, a young woman with dreams and aspirations just like anyone else her age. But her path led her to a place where dreams often fade into the background. A fresh face in a tough place, Turbyville Correctional Institution. This was not just a job, it was a test of endurance, resilience, and character. She was a young black woman navigating the rigid hierarchy of prison life. Every day was a challenge, a balancing act between authority and empathy. A world of concrete and steel, where hope often felt like a distant memory. The cold, unyielding walls seemed to absorb any warmth or light that tried to penetrate. But Keffer had dreams. Dreams of a brighter future, a life beyond these walls. She envisioned a world where she could make a difference, where her efforts would be recognized and valued. She hadn't planned on falling in love. Love was a complicated emotion, especially in a place designed to strip away humanity. Love, especially love with an inmate, was forbidden, dangerous. It was a line that, once crossed, could never be uncrossed. The risks were immense, but the heart doesn't always heed warnings. Keffer's story is not unique. Many have walked this perilous path before her, drawn by the same emotions and faced with the same dilemmas. It's a story repeated within the unforgiving walls of prisons across America. Each facility holds countless tales of forbidden connections, of rules bent and broken, a story of vulnerability, temptation, and the devastating consequences of crossing the line. This is her story, a story of a life upended, of choices made in moments of weakness, and the heavy price paid for those choices. Keffer's journey is a stark reminder of the thin line between duty and desire, and the profound impact of our decisions. As she reflects on her past, Keffer wonders how things might have been different. What if she had resisted the temptation? What if she had stayed true to her role and responsibilities? The training she received emphasized the importance of boundaries, of maintaining a professional distance. But no amount of training can fully prepare someone for the emotional complexities of working in a prison. In her journal, Keffer writes about her hopes and regrets, about the moments that led her to where she is now. It's a cathartic process, a way to make sense of the chaos. The interactions with inmates were always fraught with tension. Every conversation, every glance carried weight. It was a constant battle to remain impartial, to not let emotions cloud judgment. Now, as she looks to the future, Keffer is determined to rebuild her life. She knows it won't be easy, but she is resolved to learn from her mistakes and move forward. There is still hope. Hope for redemption, for a second chance. Keffer's story is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, to the possibility of finding light even in the darkest of places. As the sun sets on Turbyville Correctional Institution, it also sets on a chapter of Keffer's life. But with every sunset comes the promise of a new dawn, a new beginning. This is not the end of her story, but merely the beginning of a new one. The weight of the uniform, the constant tension in the air, the ever-present gaze of security cameras, it all took a toll. The job wore you down, chipped away at your spirit. Keffer felt the pressure every day. The inmates watched her, their eyes filled with a mixture of longing and resentment. She was both authority and target, constantly reminded of her power and her vulnerability. Then, she met him. He was different, or at least, that's what she told herself. He had a way of talking, of looking at her, that made her feel seen. In the sterile, harsh environment of the prison, their connection felt real, electric. Stolen glances across the crowded cafeteria, brief encounters during head count, whispered conversations through the bars. Keffer knew it was wrong, but the knowledge did little to extinguish the flame that burned brighter with each passing day. The tattoo was a declaration, a risk etched onto her skin. His name, permanently inked, a constant reminder of her forbidden love. It was reckless, foolish, dangerous, but in that moment it felt like the most honest thing she had ever done. The tattoo became her secret shame, a physical manifestation of her transgression. It was a secret that whispered against her skin, a constant threat of exposure, a secret that could destroy everything. Section 5. Crossing the line. It started small, a smuggled letter, extra food. But soon, the line blurred. The boundaries she had sworn to uphold crumbled under the weight of their forbidden love. She brought him things he wasn't supposed to have. Things that could get her fired, things that could land her in prison herself. Kiefer justified her actions, telling herself it was harmless, that he needed her, but deep down, a seed of fear had been planted. Section 6. The weight of lies. The lies piled up one on top of the other, a suffocating mountain of guilt and deceit. She lied to her colleagues, her friends, even herself. The fear of discovery gnawed at her, a constant companion to her growing affection. Kiefer felt trapped, caught in a web of her own making. She was in too deep, the consequences of her actions looming like a dark cloud. Section 7. Unraveling. The whispers started, inmates talking, guards exchanging knowing glances. Kiefer's secret was unraveling, thread by thread. Panic set in. She couldn't outrun the truth. Not anymore. Then came the positive pregnancy test. Fear turned to ice in her veins. Her secret was no longer just her own. It had the power to destroy her future, her life.